Hello and welcome to Friday's Reflection as we conclude our time looking at the prophet Elijah. Let us start by praying together.
O God of the still, small voice, quiet our inner spirit. Help us to focus upon you and you alone, to hear your voice within.
In weakness, be our strength. In poverty, be our wealth. In depression, be our joy. In apathy, be our love. Because of, and in the name of our Messiah, Jesus. Amen. 2 Kings chapter 2 verses 15 to 18. The company of the prophets from Jericho who were watching said, "The spirit of Elijah is resting on Elisha." And they went to meet him and bowed to the ground before him. "Look," they said, "we, your servants, have 50 able men. Let them go and look for your master. Perhaps the Spirit of the Lord has picked him up and set him down on some mountain or in some valley." "No," Elisha replied, "do not send them." But they persisted until he was too embarrassed to refuse. So he said, "Send them." And they sent 50 men, who searched for 3 days but did not find him. When they returned to Elisha, who was staying in Jericho, he said to them, "Didn't I tell you not to go?"
Today we'll be concluding our time with the prophet Elijah. We have journeyed with him, exploring his ups and downs, recognizing his very human reactions, and witnessing his very supernatural acts. Perhaps he is not an easy character. Certainly many of his actions were a little strange, to say the least. But he is still considered to be one of the greatest prophets of the Bible. And I wonder, if we were to hear Elijah speaking to us today, what might he say? How might he be calling us back to God? Which battles would he choose to fight? Take some time now to consider these things and just notice what comes to mind. And what might we learn about the Lord, the God of Elijah? God the provider, who brought food by ravens, oil for a widow, food and water for Elijah when he was just burnt out. God the sustainer, who gave food, rest and energy enough for the next stage of Elijah's journey. God of power, who burnt up water-soaked offerings. God of the gentle silence, who wrapped Elijah in his presence. Which of these attributes of God do you feel most drawn to today? And can you identify what it is that is drawing you to that? Is there something that you need from God today? No matter how Elijah was feeling, whether he was wholeheartedly fighting for God or half-heartedly going through the motions, God was still with him. God was still working through him. What difference might this make to you today, to be reminded that no matter how you're feeling, and no matter how much effort you feel you have to put into something, God's power can still work through you. And as you think about this, what is your sense of God with you now? And is there anything you might like to say to God? Now conclude your time today by simply resting here with God, being with God now, and allowing God to do the work. Thank you for joining us for today's reflection. This will be the last reflection as we take a break over the summer and then think about where we go from there after that. In the meantime, you might like to look at some other resources which are available online. There's the Pray As You Go app and the Lectio 365. Thank you for joining us, and we hope that the rest of your day goes well. But let us conclude now by praying together.
God of power, without your love we can do nothing. Give us a double share of your Spirit so that we can work together here and across the world.
Teach us to follow the examples of the prophets, to speak clearly alongside the poor, and to work tirelessly for the good of all people. Through your Son, Jesus Christ, who brought healing and love to the whole world.
Amen.
Amen.